going to reload some of this 50 caliber brass. This is American Eagle 50 cal BMG. One's fired out of my Bushmaster BA-50. So right now I'm going to show you how to pull the primers. Now I'm going to be using my 50 cal press, my Lee 50 cal press back here, and when you buy the kit for it, it comes with the Lee resizing lubricant, and I used it on some early brass already. Tried it out. Normally I use the Hornaday one-shot case sizing wax. So this time around I decided to give it a shot using this to case lube instead of the Lee. Let's go ahead and do it to it. Now, when you're doing 50 cals, you got to really put an even coat on there. Get a little bit around here, get some down into the neck. There's a lot of. This case is big, so there's gonna be a lot of friction in there. So let's go take a look at it. Put it in the press and pop it out and see how it does. Get it into the press. Oh, nice. There you go. Okay, so the primer's out of that case, but since this is 50 cal, just about every 50 cal that I have, shells that I have bought, all have crimp primers. So from here, we're going to go in and remove the crimp. Take a little bit of this case wax off. So the quickest way to do it is just take your reamer, give it a good twist, put a nice bevel on it, and then you can size the case. We're looking for 3.19, or correct, let me say that again. Yeah, 3.10, and we are at 3.07. So we're good on the case. Doesn't need to be trimmed. So we just go ahead and give it a quick little wipe in here just to kind of deburr the opening a little bit. And move on to the next one. Grab another one here, give it a quick little lube job. Into the press we go. Pop the comb. Boom. Another quick twist. See what the length is on that one. 3.90, so we're good. I think most of these are they've only been fired once, so they should be well within spec. Shouldn't need to be trimmed just yet. So we'll just finish these up. So normally when I reload, I like to just do one process at a time. So right now we're just popping primers. We'll get those primers out, even on a single stage press here. We'll pop the primers out, and then once we get all the primers out, then I'll go back and ream that crimp hole. After that, put them in a dry tumbler to clean off the case lube, and give them a good shine up. Clean the primer pockets out. You can see the primer pockets in here are pretty nasty. They're pretty black. A lot of soot in this powder. All right. So, done with that batch. So come back down here. Give them a good twist. You just want to put a nice little bevel on that primer pocket, so that when you go to put the new primers in there, they just slide right in. If you don't do that, if you don't remove that crimp or bevel it, and you go and put a primer in there, you're gonna set it off on the press. And you'll do it once. After that, you won't do it no more. Okay. And a quick little wipe down. Okay, now these are going to go into the vibrating tumbler. So I'll pick back up when they come out, and we'll continue on with putting new primers into it. Thanks a lot. Alright, welcome back. We've tumbled this brass. I split it in half, tumbled about half of it for about an hour a piece, and so it's cleaned up. Primer pockets kind of cleaned up, and go back and make sure that they're all clear, no obstructions. Re-verify the primer, the crimp pocket, make sure that it's the crimp's been beveled over. Now on the press, I've replaced the decapping die with a holder die. So we're gonna go ahead and prime. So reholder die up here. Add the primer inserting attachment. This is out of the Lee kit. Down here, just slips into the hole. I'm gonna work this thing. Shell goes up on top. Primer sits right in the little cup right there. Let's go ahead and do it. Just insert it up and press it in. Okay, now you want to make sure that this is flush with the end of the shell, and you can see it pretty much is. You can adjust an in or out by rotating your shell holder right here. If it's too deep, just back your shell holder up a little bit until you get it flush. If it's not deep enough, you can crank down on it, go clockwise on it, take it down in there, and just work slowly. Again, I like to do everything in batches, so we'll do another one here. Full press on the press. There again, looks beautiful, nice. All right, we'll finish these up, and then we'll move on to charging the cases, charging the shells. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So we've put primers, we've inserted primers in all of them. Primers are nice and flush. No no high primers. I wanted to take a little bit of time here to talk about the primers. So for reloading, I'm using CCI number 35 standard for 50 cal BMG ammunition. These are a big primer. That is like almost 1/4 of an inch across. These things are huge compared to what, if you've never reloaded 50 cal BMG and you've only done your more standard hunting cartridges, these things are absolute monsters compared to those. So the next thing that we're going to look at, swing the camera around, back over here, back to the press. Okay, sorry, my batteries cut out, had to change them over. So we'll continue on to what I was going to talk about next. After the primering operation, we're going to go back up here to the press, and we're going to change out, well, first of all, we're going to remove the primer attachment, take that out of there. You know, the Lee one, it just sits in there with a couple of O-rings here. It slides in and out. Got a little bit cleaned up. Then we're going to remove this top shell holder, and we're going to replace that with our seating die. This is the Lee 50 cal BMG seating die. And that's going to go right in the top right here. Okay. So the press is now set up to do bullet seating. So the next step we have to do, though, of course, we haven't charged these things yet, so we're going to have to break out the powder and the scale and charge these things up so that we can seat some bullets in it and finish up our reloading operation here. So I'm going to set it up here for that, and I'll see you when I've got that done. Okay, now we're going to charge this thing. So we're going to bring our scale out here. I'm going to put my powder holder on it, turn it on, let it zero out. It's zeroed. If you turn it on without, you're going to get you have the weight of and you just hit the tare button and it zeroes it out. So now we're going to measure out 255 grains of the Alliant powder. So this Alliant powder, it's a stick powder, it's pretty bulky, and I find it's pretty easy just to dispense it right from the container, and you can spin the container and make it act like a trickler, sort of. This bulky powder doesn't run through my tricklers very well, so this is kind of a quick way of doing the same thing. Okay, so we're 230, 240. Okay. 251. A little more. 255. There we go. Okay, so now we very carefully pour it in. Again, I'm going to pour it in really slow because it likes clogging these. The stick size likes clogging the funnel up quite a bit. So, okay, so there's one. Got one ready to charge. Now we're going to go back over here to the press. shell out, grab my charged shell, grab a projectile, kind of set it in there, feed it up in. All right. There we are. 5.45. You can see it's got right a little bit of crimp. That one's good to go. So we just repeat that for all of them, and that same process for all of them, and that's how you reload BMG 50s.